This morning I thought we'd talk about why we love Jehovah so much. Now, obviously, there are basic fundamental reasons we love him, and let's turn to Acts chapter 18 and just mention the A part of the verse as to why we love him. And verse 28 of Acts chapter 17, for by him we have life and move and exist. So we love him because we love life. We're grateful that we're able to move and that we exist. And when you think about it, this beautiful earth that Jehovah created continues to sustain humans with food and water. So just fundamental. We love him for all these things, but really why we love him so much, it gets much more personal than just these things that keep us in existence. When Jehovah is like a loving father to us, and when he's real, and when we feel confident he's listening to our personal, private prayers, that strengthens us to continue on and to endure. Now, it's the case with some of God's people, including some raised around the truth. They didn't have a loving human father during their childhood. The reasons and details as to why a father wouldn't love their own child are numerous, but never justified. Now, the evidence is often that people that suffer from having experienced this lack of love, sadly, they grow up with being filled with negative thinking. They can become consumed with negative thinking, and then their life becomes like a roller coaster of emotions, and they find it very difficult to face each day. Well, the good news is that this negative thinking, for those that worship Jehovah and love him, it can be often eliminated or certainly at least held at bay because we have this close personal relationship with Jehovah God. Jehovah's drawn us to him. We thank him for that. It was undeserved, but there's more to why we love him so much. And a verse that we find in our publications often is Psalm 34. So let's take a look at Psalm 34. And most of us are very familiar with this verse, but let's think about it. Verse 18, Jehovah is close to the brokenhearted. He saves those who are crushed in spirit. Now, we love this verse, especially if we went through difficulties, or as I mentioned, didn't have a father that displayed love. That can break a heart, and the individual can feel crushed in spirit, totally discouraged, unable to face basic things in life. Now, to illustrate that, I thought I'd just show you this beautiful crystal here of two birds. Isn't that a beautiful piece there? And I'm being careful because it's really my wife's. You know, what's mine is hers, and what's hers is hers. No, it's just teasing. It is absolutely adorable, these two birds in this crystal. Now, if you were to take a hammer, large hammer, and smash it, see, that's the idea of crushed in spirit. So you start to get the feeling for what some of us have experienced, crushed in spirit. And the reason we love Jehovah so much is he actually got the power, and because of his love, to put the pieces back together so that we can go on and continue to love him, worship him for eternity. It's just a wonderful creator, our Heavenly Father, Jehovah. That's why we love him so much. And he's the only one that can do that. Say some other human that loves you, they can't really put the pieces back together. They can be consoling and should be, but Jehovah can put us back together. Now, to further help us appreciate why we love him so much, notice Isaiah chapter 49. I've always appreciated the verse here, and on occasion have used it with shepherding someone struggling from various issues related to the way they grew up or were mistreated. Isaiah 49, and notice here in verse 15, Jehovah says, "Can a woman forget her nursing child, or have no compassion for the son of her womb? Even if these women forget, I would never forget you." So let's just think about this. The question's raised, can a woman or a mother, since they're a nursing child, can they forget them? Well, the news indicates they continue to do that. It's just heartbreaking to hear about a mother left their child in a car on a hot day, and then the child dies. Often they're nursing age. So it can happen. It does happen. However, most of the time, that's why Jehovah uses this comparison, a mother is just an amazing part of a child's life. Just to illustrate, when my sons were young, both of them, because they're about a year and a half apart, so one was an infant, and the other about a year and a half, thereabouts. And at the time we lived in the second floor apartment, and next to us was a train track. So it wasn't that there was always trains going by, but this certain fast train coming from New York to Providence, Rhode Island, would just come by late at night, early in the morning, pre-dawn, and the house would vibrate. That's how close we were to the track. But the rent was good, and it helped with being able to make ends meet. Well, that would wake me up every time. And I'd hear that, and the train, and the house vibrating. However, my wife Susan would sleep right through it. Didn't bother her. The train went by, and I'd look over and like, boy, if I could do that, you know? However, whenever one of those sons cried out, I don't care what hour it was, she shot out of that bed and was over there. And I'm trying to come to as to why she moved. But that's the love of a mother that Jehovah's emphasizing here. Anyone that, thinks about that, that always deeply impressed me, that this is what Jehovah is talking about with mothers, how they love their children. And it's just very touching. Never forgot it. And anyone that had a mother like that should be very grateful to them. If you haven't thanked them lately, be a good idea to do so. Now, the reason we love Jehovah so much when considering this verse is because Jehovah is comparing the tender love of a mother to his love. And he makes the point, because obviously it happened down through history, these women can forget. Some can become that selfish and other reasons and forget the nursing child, but Jehovah will never forget you. He'll never forget me. So frankly, regardless of our past, whether it was a good upbringing or not, we can exhibit joy because we love Jehovah so much.